What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode that you guys should enjoy. Today we'll be talking about a topic that we obviously have to talk about. It's what's going to happen to the 2020 NHL season. Now, there's obviously a lot of controversy going around about is the NHL going to cancel it? Are we going to go over this into the summer? If they do cancel it, who's going to be the Stanley Cup champion this year? We'll talk about it all today. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to drop a like at the bottom of the screen and hit the subscribe button. If you guys enjoy the NHL, enjoy hockey, enjoy talking about hockey, we'll do it all on the channel today. Without further ado, guys, let's get into the episode. Now, actually, just before I started filming this video, I got a notification saying that the NHL is looking in for ice. They're asking for ice availability or arena availability for August, in the summer, this August. So that's obviously saying that they are looking into postponing the season and moving it into the summer. Now, I actually think that's what they're going to do, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, there's been some people saying, like, why don't we just cancel the season at this point? You know, it might be the right move, and absolutely not. That is a horrible idea because you can't just do that. Before we start talking about that, let's take a look at a bit of history here. 1919. Now, you guys probably heard the story. It was the first time and the only time in NHL history where the season was actually canceled. They got to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Seattle Metropolitans versus the Montreal Canadiens. They have to cancel it going into the 6th game. The Canadiens had won 2 games. Seattle had won 2 games, and they had tied a game. And unfortunately, it was during the Spanish flu. A lot of players on the Montreal Canadiens were sick. Unfortunately, Joe Hall passed away just 4 days after they canceled the season, which is kind of sad. So they did obviously have to cancel it, and I don't blame them for restarting because that's pretty sad. That really sucks. But given where we're at right now in the NHL, we're over 100 years later. The NHL has become huge, and they cannot just cancel it. They're going to get so much pressure from fans. I don't think they care too much about the fans, but they're going to get a lot of pressure from the fans. They're going to get pressure from the Players Association, and most importantly, and the biggest one, they're going to get a lot of pressure from the owners and the GMs of these other teams. Now, let's take a look at the top and the players that are contending for playoff spots. You know, they made trades at the trade deadline thinking about this season, thinking, okay, we're going to acquire players. They're going to allow for a playoff push this year. Let's take a look at the Jean-Gabriel Pageau trade for the New York Islanders. Yes, they were able to re-sign him, but they traded a 2020 first-round pick to the Ottawa Senators in return for Jean-Gabriel Pageau, and it's this year's pick. Like I said, it's not lottery protected, and they're outside a playoff spot right now. So that pick, as it is already good. It could become very good if that pick ends up winning the lottery, and the Senators could get another top 5 pick with San Jose's and theirs if they do end up canceling the season. Also, what about the contract situations? Every player in the league obviously has to have a contract. Would they just have to scratch it and say, okay, this is another year taking off their contracts, which would suck for a lot of teams? Or would they just say, you know what, let's just transfer this year onto next year? I think if they did end up canceling the season, that's what they would have to do. But in my opinion, like I said, there's absolutely no way that they cancel the season. If they did have to cancel the season, who would get the Stanley Cup? The answer is nobody. There's been a lot of rumors that the Boston Bruins would end up winning the 2020 NHL Stanley Cup. And as a diehard Bruins fan, I don't think I would be too pleased with that. I would obviously take it and say, okay, it's a Stanley Cup. But the NHL and the Boston Bruins and their fans will get just destroyed every time we said we have 7 Stanley Cups. They'll say, yeah, but that one didn't count because you didn't actually win a Stanley Cup. And I would have to agree with them because the Stanley Cup and the President's Trophy, which is what the Bruins would have right now, are 2 totally different things. Tampa Bay Lightning last year, they were probably the best team in the National Hockey League, but they did not win the Stanley Cup, and they shouldn't have won the Stanley Cup. They weren't properly built for the Stanley Cup. They won the President's Trophy and the best team in the regular season, but the Stanley Cup is something else. Now, what do I think the NHL is going to do? Well, I think it's going to be pretty simple. I think they've got to just take this out, you know, allow this whole virus to pass over, and then I think they're just going to have to continue it over the summer. Now, like I said, and like you guys should know, that they did ask for ice availability, arena availability in August, like I mentioned earlier. I think it kind of shows that that's what the direction that they're looking into. I know they said that they want to play a full 82-game season next year. It's probably not going to happen. I mean, they're probably going to have to take at least a month and a half off if they do go into the summer. They'll probably have to take a couple games and maybe all of October off and then start the season back up in November. I think that's what they're probably going to have to do. And I think it makes the most sense for the teams at the top of the league and the teams at the bottom. The teams at the bottom, they probably just say, all right, let's just get these games over with and it's for the first overall pick. I mean, I don't really see how they could be upset with any move that the NHL makes because they are where they are. But teams battling for a playoff spot and the teams at the top, imagine the Boston Bruins. Their players work so hard for 72 games. They're making moves to improve the team for this year, and then they just cancel the season, and this is another year scratch. It goes for all of those teams at the top of the league. It doesn't make any sense. They can't do that. So they will have to play it out during the summer. And I think that's what they're going to do. How bad can hockey be during the summer? I mean, we'll probably be on vacation and road trips, but it'll be exciting to watch in the summer. I think it'll just be kind of something different. And then we'll only have to wait like a month and a half. We'll have the draft in there. We'll have free agency. And then the season could start. It might not actually be too bad of a thing. So that's probably what I think is going to end up happening. And I think it's the best decision for the NHL. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the episode. Tell me down in the comment section, who do you think, what do you think the NHL is going to do this season? Do you see them playing in the summer, or do you see them just canceling the season? And if they do cancel the season, who do you see hoisting the cup at their, wherever they would host it? I don't even know where they would hoist the cup. Wherever. Who do you see, being the 2020 Stanley Cup champs, if anybody? Please let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you again for watching. If you're new, hit the subscribe button again. Thank you. We'll see you guys in the next episode.